Well, it appears the European Union wants to take away your classic cars. That's in Europe. They want to do that here too. I don't think that's going to fly over very well. We love our classic cars here in America. Before we get started on this video, I want to go ahead and give a shout out again to our patrons. I put up that review on the Goldbacks. A lot of people were asking about Goldbacks and what I thought of them. It may not be what you think. You can go over to patreon.com and watch that review. Also, we put up a video not that long ago about 3 steers that we butchered over in Oklahoma. It was like a 30-minute video giving you kind of a detailed step-by-step on how we take apart one of these animals. If you're interested in a butchering video that's about 30 minutes long, very informative, very educational, you can find that over at patreon.com/An American Homestead as well. If you can't find it, message me on there and I will make sure I get you a link. Also, these books are still over there. I'm giving the PDFs out to a lot of people who are asking. These books will cost you over $1,000 a piece. If you buy them on Amazon, you get them for $1. If you join my Patreon for $1. If you join for higher than that, I really appreciate it. There's other benefits for higher levels that you go, but $1 will get you in the door, and I'll send you this link. Again, if you can't find the link over there, message me, and I will make sure you get it. Over at the Gateway Pundit, this is a great website. Everyone should be checking it out on a daily basis. Just the other day, they posted this article. The EU wants to seize your old car to meet climate goals.
How about new?
Scrolling down, it says this is draconian. The EU is now finding more ways to take away your freedoms. They want to take away ownership of your old car and scrap it. Yes, you read that correctly. The EU has something called the End of Life Vehicles Directive. Does this just sound creepy? The End of Life Vehicles Directive? Do you not think they're going to switch out that word vehicles one day and put human? End of Life Humans Directive? Yeah, you're too old. You're putting off too much CO2. I think we're just going to come out with a directive that, never mind. Let's keep reading. And they are looking to expand this to become so draconian that it reminds of something that would have been happening under the communist Soviet Union. If you click this link, it brings you over to this website here, and sure enough, there is a European Union Commission webpage for end-of-life vehicles regulation. What are the problems? And it talks about all the problems of why we need to do this, why we need to take away your old jalopies. It says a modern, future-proof set of rules to improve the quality of end-of-life treatment. Oh my gosh. Tell me they're not going to take this and put it on some other category. You know what I'm talking about, right? Incentivize reuse and make the most efficient use of precious resources. Yes, Soylent Green, anyone. Come on, please tell me I'm not wrong here in the comments below. Back over at the Gateway Pundit, it says the new set of criteria will be established that will decide whether you will be able or allowed to keep your car. If your car does not meet the criteria, the EU will seize your car and scrap it. One of the criteria is that if your car has missed its regular EU checkup for 2 years, then it is considered to be waste and they will scrap it. Another thing they are talking about as well is to introduce a circular passport for vehicles. In other words, a passport for your car. This is madness. If the cost of repairing your car exceeds the value of your car, then the EU will seize it and scrap it for you. Very nice of them. Now, I've never restored an old car, but back in the day, when I got out of the military, I took some of my savings and I bought a 1974 Silver Stingray. I'm just guessing, and again, I don't know. I'm not a professional at restoring cars, and I'm sure some of you may have some experience in that, so leave a comment below. Let's just take a car from the 1970s. Is it going to cost more today to find original parts and the different things that's going to make that car run to make it, restored than what the car would be deemed actually worth by the government? What's the blue book value of a 1974 Silver Stingray versus all the parts that may be needed and required and purchased to make that car restored? I'm assuming, and I'm just guessing, I may be wrong, leave a comment below, that it's going to be more expensive to restore the car than what the blue book or what the government may deem that car to be worth. There is an exception, however, for cars that are more than 30 years old, but they have to be original. Meaning that if you put a different engine in it than the original and your car hasn't been through an EU controlled check within the last 2 years, then they will scrap it. Meaning that many older cars will be considered waste by the European Union, and they will seize your car and scrap it for you, all under the excuse of recycling and meeting climate goals. Guys, this is a cult. If there ever was a definition of a cult, this is it. In reality, this means that you will no longer own your car. In reality, your car will belong to the state, and they will decide for how long you can have your car. You will own nothing, and you will be happy. Going back over to the EU website, it says stepping up in an area of exported used vehicles. They're adding this to the directive. Over 800,000 used vehicles are exported from the EU and the United States every year, mainly to Africa. Many of these vehicles are highly polluting and dangerous, causing traffic deaths given their age. The export of end-of-life vehicles is already banned. The new, stronger regulation and more traceability will ensure that only high-quality, technically fit European vehicles will be exported to consumers in third world countries. That means that people in third world countries will no longer be able to afford, most people will not be able to afford these new vehicles. Only rich people in these third world countries will be able to afford these high-end electric vehicles. They're expensive to buy. They're very, very expensive to maintain. They're very, very expensive to repair. And they have to have battery switch outs, which cost in the tens of thousands of dollars in every less than 10-year period. Now, someone left a comment on the recent video I did on the Elon Musk truck. And they said, well, if I bought, the same price for the same price of a high-end Elon Musk Cybertruck, I could buy a 3/4 ton. I'd rather have the Cybertruck than the 3/4 ton. It makes more sense. It doesn't make sense. The 3/4 ton vehicle is going to be easier to repair, easier to maintain. And that diesel and that 3/4 ton pickup is going to last far. That could listen, you leave a comment below and let me know what you think if I'm wrong here. But I'm under the understanding that a diesel engine will last at least 20 years if it's well taken care of. Am I wrong on this? Those lithium-ion batteries have to be switched out less than 10 years. And it costs upwards of $20,000 to replace the battery. Why on earth would you buy a Cybertruck over a regular 3/4 ton, even a used 3/4 ton diesel?
That doesn't make sense.
It makes no sense. And the 3/4 ton diesel is going to be head and shoulders above when it comes to ability level of working on a farm and actually doing things. But the Cybertruck's bulletproof, Zach. I seriously doubt. I would love to put the Cybertruck up against my AK and see who wins that fight. I don't think the Cybertruck's going to win that fight. Here's the reality, guys. This is all about control. This is all about control. I don't think that this is going to fly here in the United States. You're going to get a lot. Do you know how often people go to car shows? You know how often people hold car shows, classic car shows here in America? Every weekend, there's a car show somewhere where you can go and see classic cars. There are businesses, there are companies out there today. There was one in St. Louis. I forgot the name of it. Maybe I'll put it on the screen. Their sole business was to basically restore these vehicles, 1960s, 1950s, 1970s vehicles, and sell them as new to the public as a daily driver. And I would do that these days because they're much more reliable than these vehicles and much more easier to be worked on than these vehicles that are sold today. It makes sense to buy those vehicles. We are heading, and when it comes to vehicles, we are heading towards the same road Cuba went down. Let me know I'm wrong in the comments below. Here's a couple comments that were left on my earlier videos that I talked about the Musk truck. Adam Rushing says, when I was deployed to Macedonia, I saw the locals regularly using VW Bugs as their farm truck. If you think about it, these old pancake engines were fuel efficient, very cheap, and easy to work on. It makes sense. They can't carry as much on each load, so their trailers and whatnot are smaller. I, too, was deployed to Macedonia for a time when I was in the military, infantry, and I did see this all the time. Any car that was actually working could be used and was used as a farm vehicle. And I've seen bales of hay strapped, on small cars like that. They do what they have to do to get by, but these vehicles can be easily worked on. There's a reason why you see these old 1980s Toyota pickups being used by the Taliban. Because you can keep those things running forever. The engines will literally run forever. It's not uncommon to see a Toyota pickup made in the 1980s with 500,000 or 1 million miles on it. Do you think your EV Cybertruck's going to ever see 1 million miles or even get close to half that? Not. Snowball's chance in Hades. Interestingly enough, there were 2 comments left from people in this region of Macedonia and Serbia. What are you Americans whining about? Come to Serbia to see how life is and how much purchasing power there is. We have salaries of $400 per month. Fuel is twice as expensive in America. Food prices are the same. Just one question: how would you survive if you had a monthly income of $400? I agree. Americans are spoiled rotten. We have absolutely no idea what it means to want in this country. Most Americans have everything they need and most of what they want. We are spoiled little brats. And people are going to take it really, really hard when it comes down to crunch time, and we really have to learn to do without. There's going to be people who just don't cope very well, which is one of the reasons why I tell people, get out of the cities. Get out of these urban areas. Because when it all goes down and when people are forced with the nightmare of having to do without, and having to go without giving in to every single one of their desires in life, they're not going to cope well. They're going to be in dire straits, and you don't want to be caught up in that mess. You know, there are still people out here, again, who are spoiled rotten, even in rural America. They're going to have hard. Everyone's going to take a bite of that crap sandwich. But my point being is that there are less people out here to get stupid, whereas in the urban areas, there's a whole lot of people that can get stupid, and we all know stupid should hurt. If you enjoyed the video, give it that like sign before that like thumbprint right there before you leave. I appreciate that. It tells YouTube that people watch and enjoy my videos. And if you're interested in the Stupid Should Hurt shirt, it's our best-selling shirt of all time. If we had more hurt in this world, we'd have an awful, awful lot less stupid. See you over at Patreon. I'll see you next time in the Homestead. Bye! A really interesting piece of information that I overlooked. It says on that website by the European Union, how much will these rules cost? Oh, less than 70 euros per vehicle. So not only are they going to take away your vehicle, they're going to make you pay for taking away your vehicle. 2023 is almost over, and a recent Bloomberg article states that the central bank gold buying binge around the world is bigger than anyone previously thought. And in mid-November of 2023, the Dutch central bank admits that it is ready for a new gold standard, having equalized all of its gold reserves relative to its GDP. Like it or not, everyone in the world's banking sectors understands that the U.S. reserve currency status is going to fail. The U.S. dollar today is not backed up by anything of value, and that now includes oil. In fact, our national debt is now larger than our entire GDP. Just the interest alone on our debt is larger than our entire military budget, and it's only getting bigger. Congress won't stop spending money, and the Fed won't stop printing money. The smart money around the world is moving to gold and silver, and you can too. AmericanGoldEscape.com can help. If you have money and cash reserves banked away, or if you have savings in a 401k or IRA, and you want to move that money to physical gold and silver, AmericanGoldEscape.com will begin that process for you. This company has an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and will answer any questions you have about safeguarding your wealth. Time is running out. Do not wait any longer to visit AmericanGoldEscape.com. Link is in the description below. Hey guys, did you know you can become a patron of an American Homestead? They get access to private videos, and we send them gifts from the Homestead that we make here on the Homestead. And we also enter our patrons into special giveaways that are only available to them. And before you go, please check out these other great videos. Go ahead, click. I'll wait.